Kryra got scrubbed by Janelle with an assist from Jessica, and I was here for it.
Guess she found out today, didn't she?
This is what Black can do for you.
And do not get it twisted. Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about OWN Network's reality-based TV series, Ready to Love, season number 8, episode number 6.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Send us your comments because these things help us in the algorithm. We thank you and appreciate you for your support.
Tommy reconvened the ladies in the ladies' lounge to give them their assignments for the week, and that was to take the fellas out on a date and express to the fellas their doubts.
So the first date up was Aries and Phil. Phil brought her some flowers and she was loving it, and they were really connecting as they were having their meal.
Yeah, Phil said that he was kind of nervous at the beginning, but he was glad to have the opportunity to finally not text not text on the phone or not talk over the phone, but actually see in person, face to face, Aries.
And Aries' doubts were that she's looking for a man to be a leader, and she is wondering how Philip is gonna treat her sons to be a husband, a father, and all that good stuff that comes with it.
He actually had no problems uh, reassuring her that, hey, he's down for the process. He seems to have a really good connection with Aries and he wants to pursue it.
Yeah, when she talked about her two failed marriages, and evidently he has a child and was married as well. And he said, "Hey, it's fun to share your life with someone." So I thought they had a great date.
Yeah, I would second that. He
Yeah,
walked her out to the car and kissed her. It was all good.
the second date up was
Christopher. Christopher actually got a chance to meet with Sierra.
yes, and Sierra came through. She said at the hoedown,
Hold down.
Christopher was talking some stuff. He had some shades of that Oswald dude.
You're not talking about Oswald Bates, are you?
He had some shades of it. I didn't say he
That's
was like
cold
he had some
blooded.
shades of Oswald. Every now and then there comes Ozzy. She wanted to find out what was under the hood.
He also never doubts himself.
Right, which is
Ever. Ever.
isn't that weird for a man to say that?
I would think so. I've never heard that before.
Because men typically are in leadership roles, and to figure stuff out, they would have some questions every now and then. I'm
Exactly.
just saying.
Exactly. Any reasonable person, not just a man, but woman or,
Right.
anybody else for that matter.
But anyway, the brother said he never doubts himself because he believes in who he is. He don't have to put on or pretend at anything.
So he has no insecurities, y'all.
Right. And
Y'all believe
then
that?
Sierra said lightheartedly, well, what she loves is of her Birkin. And I was surprised he knew the price point of a Birkin because it starts about, I would say, 60 and goes up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars based on the color and the material used to make the bag. There's a waiting list for some of them. But I was surprised he actually knew
He
what
was up
bag
on
she
it, huh?
was talking
He
about.
was up on his
And
stats, huh?
he said, "Well, are you gonna leave me if I can't do that for you?" And Sierra said that, hey, I'm a girl. I could buy my own ish. I really don't need you to buy me stuff.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he was able to kind of read
No,
the room or read specifically Sierra's mood, and
no,
that she was more or
no.
less being conversational and kind of joking
Hmm.
with the the commentary about the Birkin.
She wasn't too thrilled about him or his
Yeah,
responses.
Chris and Jessica met for lunch, and
Yeah,
I think Chris was he was clean in his suit, and Jessica had on a really nice was a jumpsuit,
yeah, it was pretty
and
and
they were
looked
at a
beautiful
construction
on
site
it. Remember, he does that. It was nice that she bought a picnic or lunch.
as part of his issues regarding doubt. He would like to see Jessica really show a softer side to her because apparently in his initial interactions with her, she's come off as a little hard-edged, direct,
Yeah.
and that's not something that he's looking for beyond, beyond a certain point. This is not, well, we know we got to get stuff done, but
Do your thing, but still be yourself. There's a balancing act. I
got to strike.
certainly needed counseling to find that balancing. Hey, it is what it is.
It definitely sure is.
She said she don't have time for that, but you could tell that Chris wants a woman to address him a certain way with respect.
Yeah, and she, on the other hand, has some questions about his
Consistency,
consistency.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
apparently, she wants to know that when she reaches out and calls, that he's going to call her back or
Yeah.
respond back.
He doubled back on her saying, "Hey, you haven't been calling either." So, and she admitted that maybe I could do better as well. So that was a nice moment between them. It's Marvin and Katarina.
And Katerina was presented with flowers, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah, that was a nice gesture on his part, but I don't think it won him any points with Kat. Do you?
Marvin made a mistake in my estimation. He decided to to show all his warts and all and tell us about his freaky deaky stuff, not realizing that the or reading the room that the company he is in may find that objectionable or off-putting. And because he put it all out there, he sees the results of giving too much information. He's got to reel it back some because the women obviously are talking and they think he has a alternate lifestyle, as Katerina said.
Yeah, and that they're not necessarily down for it.
Right.
And so it was not something that they expected and or anticipated to have to deal with right up front.
Mhm.
And it could have a way of turning people off right from the
Yes,
very
yes.
beginning, and it obviously did as it relates to many of the ladies.
Because the first thing she asks is whether he wants a monogamous relationship. And somebody else asked him that as well. I think it was Lee.
Yeah, and his response was, "Yeah, I do." Even though I kind of have, my own fantasies or whatever about how I would like my significant other, my spouse or whatever, to relate to me, moving forward. I grew up seeing that. I grew up seeing a monogamous relationship on the part of my parents. So that's what I want.
He wants the person he's with to participate in that dungeon situation with the stuff under the mattress, and the women are not going for it. He said what he said, and but she wasn't convinced. She still had a side eye, and you could tell that Marvin is not going much further from that encounter with Katerina.
Yeah, she's definitely at the very least skeptical about the
Yes,
authenticity of his answers.
yeah, he's just saying what he thinks they want to hear.
And they're not going for it.
No, they're not.
At least not Katerina.
Next date up,
Kira invites Herbert over to her house to participate in some childlike activities.
Herbert comes through and he brings a gift for her dog. The dog is jumping up on Herbert, obviously, because, it's someone new to the house, and she cooked dinner.
And that was a nice touch. I'll give her that part of it.
She claims that Herbert is not being consistent. She wants him to put in the time. She wants to be pursued. It's something like a TikTok dance that she
Dance video.
choreographed, and she wanted him to perform in it.
I guess she considers that stepping his game up. Those are her words, not mine.
Hey, the less I say about the sister, the better it is. I gotta stay off the cliff myself.
Just self-editing, huh?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Quentin and Janelle, I love this date. Quentin said he finally was able to get Janelle all by himself, and he was loving her with his eyes, and they had a little sexual tension going on between them. He's talking his game, and She is just loving it. And he said that he got to make the relationship even stronger than he is.
He got a little bit of mouthpiece that he's trying to use.
She was loving every minute of it.
Yeah, she was up for the young brother.
And she talked about, how they're going to get together because there's a significant age difference. And she said if they're going to do anything, they got to start now. And he didn't have any problem with that. They talked about children.
Yeah,
And he found out that she was adopted and she's not, and neither is he opposed to adopting kids.
mhm,
And that was great.
and he's up for being married and having relations with his wife, his partner, and
Hmm.
he's up for that sooner than later
Yes, yes,
because she
yes.
getting hers in.
Yes, she
She
is.
going for hers.
Yes, she is.
She not playing either.
She focused.
Yeah, with
She
no distractions.
next date up,
Miss Kira again. She goes one on one with Marie.
Miss Kira decided to go on a date with Marie because she thought that she believed rather that he judged her, and she wanted to get the black culture conversation out and going. Now, the last thing I know is that she said to the camera that black culture was disrespectful. So I'm a little confused why when she seems like she's put out or taken aback or insulted that he talked about black culture and wanted to define or find out exactly where she falls in it.
My question to her is, who is black culture disrespectful to? Was he trying to apologize, or was he just trying to clarify what he was
He
doing?
was trying to clarify, but he
Right.
did say, hey, he's sorry if he made her feel a kind
Okay.
of way.
Okay.
And then when she said she felt like judged, he shook his head and he said, yeah, I may have done that too. We all did that,
At
girl.
least, at least he took ownership for his part of the ish or the disconnect between the two. I don't recall if I'm correct. Miss Kira doing the
She's missing the totality of the conversation and her misrepresentation of what black culture really is. I don't get what she's indignant about. We are the ones who are troubled by what we're seeing and what we're hearing.
I think she's trying to sound sophisticated.
Now, I'm not sure why Lee and Marvin had another date because Lee already told Marvin that he is not her kind of dude. Remember at the hoedown?
Mm,
So I'm confused why they have another date. But in any event, they meet again
mm-hmm,
and they're talking about the same stuff, his alternate love life
mm-hmm,
and lifestyle,
mm-hmm.
and she telling him that she's not up for that, and he now trying to soften what he said before, and of course it didn't come across as being authentic.
Yeah.
He said that he would compromise or change stuff up, but it's way too late. He has done the damage to himself.
She says that basically Marvin is a nice guy, but she is very concerned about his lifestyle and whether or not she could fit into that moving forward. And I can understand that.
Yeah, when she said, "Oh, you're sweet," that is like, okay, next.
Yeah. So then the ladies reconvene in the ladies' lounge with Tommy, and Tommy finds out who likes who and who doesn't like who.
Yes, Aries said that Philip was a leader and there were sparks between them, and she's in her feels. She's liking on Philip. Janelle talks about Quentin and she likes what she sees.
Kira said that she was feeling Herbert, but he's
He
not
was not consistent.
with his communication.
Right. Jessica said she likes Chris. They had a little upset, but they both need to up their game. And she said she spoke to him, and they agreed to do that. So all is well with them.
Now, on the other hand, Tommy was curious about who the ladies weren't feeling.
Yes.
Mhm.
And Sierra said she's not feeling Christopher. Aries, Christopher, Janelle, Christopher, Jessica, Christopher. Lee said she didn't like Marvin, and
Cat co-signed that.
Jessica said Marvin. Lee said Marvin. Kira said Marie, and Jessica said, no, 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 we're not having this. Jessica said every time she's met with Marie, he has been gracious. He's a charming kind of dude. Tommy asked what's going on over there because Jessica and Janelle were talking. And then Kira
you know what?
stepped in and
Yeah,
said,
this was one of them hold up heifer moments.
yeah,
Okay.
Kira stepped in and, oh, they're probably talking about that I mispronounced his name. She called him initially Marvin, but it's Marie. Janelle immediately said, Kira, don't play with me. And
That's a
what's
grown ass
whoa.
woman talking to a little girl at that point. That's the tone she struck with her. Don't play with me.
This ain't gonna go well
Don't
for
get it.
you,
Don't get it
sis.
twisted, little girl. Don't get it twisted.
And then she said that it seemed like
Well, she characterized both
as mean
Janelle and
girls.
Jessica as mean
Right.
girls.
And the
And I'm like,
Janelle was snarky, and Janelle had to remind her that she expressed some of her foolishness towards Janelle, saying that she was one of the whitest people here. And Janelle then had to check her about the nonsense she was spreading about Quentin liking white girls. So she started talking fast and in a hurry. Oh, I want to speak. Let me speak. Yada, yada, yada. And then Jessica came through the cut, and Jessica said, well, you have these levels of blackness. Someone is too black to deal with. They really put her face in it. And people to think that I'm so ignorant. Girl, you are ignorant. Tell the truth and shame the devil. You are ignorant. You haven't seen a book in years, particularly one on history, black history. You are ignorant, baby.
if what's coming out of your mouth is any indication,
And
that's the
you
conclusion one
and,
has a reasonable chance of drawing.
and now it's not a secret.
Instead of wondering, everybody knows now because she
It's no longer
removed
a
all doubt.
secret.
Yeah, she's removed all doubt for sure.
So she started playing the victim game. Janelle said, I don't like you.
She pointed a finger at her too.
And I don't want to speak to you. In fact, I won't speak to you. This is a grown woman
It
situation
was
right
another
here.
hold up half a moment. Let me break it on down to you.
This is how we roll.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
I
I don't want to be on the wrong end of that one.
me sit back, you know how he does,
I'm
everyone
trying
she
to tamp
treats
down
someone
the
and with respect.
right
They already checked her.
with her insistence on speaking.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll get the memo if someone she loves see on camera and tells her like, girl, let me get some elementary books. We'll start from scratch.
From the beginning.
This is Martin Luther King, and this is what he looks. This is this is why the Civil War started. You see that? That's a slave. Those are Africans that came over from the continent. They were minding their business, but some greedy European decided that they will get them and enslave them and put them in ships in the hull of a boat where they were
Shackles.
stinking and rotting and dying. And those who survived, they had to work sun up and sundown. And in fact, before they got to the plantations, they were sold. Just a thought.
Just a suggestion.
Anyway, Tommy had a curveball,
Yeah.
and the curveball was not one, but two men will be exiting stage left.
The three that were up for possible elimination consideration were Marie, Marvin, and Christopher.
Katerina told Marvin that, the ladies are not feeling him. They think that he's just saying stuff that they want to hear. And you gotta go, brother. He said, okay, fine. Lee tells Marie that, he need to step up his game. He's going into the friend zone, but he
Is
is
still
still gonna be looking for love.
right.
And
And according to, the ladies as a group consensus, he's still ready.
well, Jessica and Janelle wasn't about to let Kira,
Act a fool.
act a fool and cut Marie to the quick. That was not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, and Christopher met with Kira,
Mhm.
and you tell them what happened with that one.
Stupidity. She forgot the assignment at the elimination. The assignment was to not try to find out what his doubts or her doubts. Was that final meeting was to inform him that he was under consideration for elimination because of what the consensus was in terms of feedback coming back from the ladies, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Again, another,
she got off track.
it wasn't a time to talk about your doubts. It was a time to let this
Convey the
brother go
consensus
in
coming
a
from the ladies'
decent
lounge
way. Exactly.
about what this guy is and why he's up for possible elimination.
Exactly. Eventually, Christopher was let go and he was fine. He's going to continue looking for his one true love.
Well, I guess one good thing that came out of that meeting is that he no longer has to meet with Kira anymore.
This is true. This is true. So far, I still think that Dallas is an improvement on what we had before.
You really didn't
With
like Miami.
no, I did not.
Yeah, you ain't like
Or
DC.
DC. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
my people didn't represent too good.